Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and we are back with ESEA season 52. As ESEA is back, and so are we from CCG Esports to see yet another season on where CCG will begin their journey from the casting desk. It's me, Zane, along with Inflict, back on some more casting, back on some more ESA CS2 action. Inflict, how do you feel about it today?
I'm excited. CCG they unfortunately did not have as great run in the last season. They ended their run at the 51st position, I believe, and with a stat line that wasn't really pretty. So now they're going to try and change some things up. Their roster has seen some changes. We have Redman stepping in instead of their actual fifth player, which is Jenny Man, but we're gonna get to them later. Well, we can't watch today, obviously, but the game has already begun. Redman alongside Trehen, Icarus, Krakenes, and Fearless Beetle representing CCG today against the team called uh, Spin the Lock.
Yes,
Spin
it
the Block,
definitely.
excuse me, but the pistol round not going so easily for them so far. Jay Breezy with a 4K to kick things off over towards Cave, and that was a rather swift round.
Yeah, CCG trying to play a little aggressive there. As you mentioned, last season they didn't have the best performance ever, and but last season they had a lot of roster changes. This season they have slight roster changes as well. Icarus, who was playing as a sixth man previously, who stepped in at the very end of the season, is now being in the playing in the main roster, I believe, and they have Red Man coming in the place of Treehan and Hype King. So a bit of change this time around as well. Never mind, Treehan is playing, so Hype King. So we'll see how the new roster performs. So far, it hasn't gone well as the pistol rounds are just not working in. Again, four members lost. Pretty aggressive CT-sided play coming in from this particular team, and it's gonna be another round going in the favor of Spin the Block, and that's just the bonus round. But we'll have to wait and see when CCG gets their hands on some money, gets their hands on some guns, and maybe some action as well.
Yeah, them starting out on the T side should be somewhat favorable. Of course, they're going to be able to buy into this round and hopefully start to turn some rounds quickly. This something that they struggled with the last time around was when they started to lose control of the game. It happened quite swiftly. Things fell apart and they just couldn't reclaim the game anytime soon. And whenever they started to get their grasp back onto the rounds, it generally was a little bit too late at that point. So, CCG, we're going to have to wait and see how much they've improved over the last couple of months and if it's going to be enough to keep them or to bring them into playoffs. Good start. First track found through the wall. Fearless Beetle. He's delivered. But now he's going to have to again. The flash, it's good. It connects. Fearless Beetle gets tagged down quite a lot, but the CT player gets to live to see another day. They're still taking their time with this one, CCG. A lot of their information has been given away. C4 picked up. Jam finds a frag over towards middle. Icarus. The lurk has been nullified. Smokes
Had a
out.
had a good start, but it's kind of falling apart now. If they decide to take this route, they're gonna find actually three members, almost four members, sitting at the B for them, and they don't have much time to rotate either. I like this move
Oh
coming in
no.
from SpongeBob. It's gonna be hard. They're gonna actually end up finding double here. The lineup from Jam, and now Red Man is gonna be the only one surviving with only 20 seconds in hand. He does have the C4 on his hand, but he doesn't have a choice but to just get sandwiched by the CT sides.
Found another. It's possible. But actually, no, never mind. It's not. There's just not enough time on
Time.
the clock. Redman stuck in a corner. Found two frags, but the round still goes the way of Spin the Block. They're really not making it easier for CCG. Although they had a good start, that timing it just got a little bit awkward. There was nobody watching the back and looking out for a push. And luckily, perhaps for Spin the Block, that's when all three players off the side decide to push up, and it was just easy. I believe all three of them found a pick each. while the players of CCG were, well, completely unaware, standing out in the open. Easy picks.
And that was their buy round out of the losing round. So that means they're not going to be able to afford any guns for this round, and potentially if they lose this one, then they're not going to be able to afford very goodly on the next one either. They do have some money stashed up, going with only Deagles and Tech 9 and only one AK on Icarus, trying to do the hero play here and going for maybe trying to get a few frags early on to see if they can secure any weapons. But this time around, CT again playing the similar way, keeping three people behind or two man behind, and then just two people pushing up mid, taking the control of that outside B area, making sure that CCG doesn't get too much map access, just completely stopping them from going in mid. But this time around, they're gonna be able to find a deagle shot here, and that might be
Oh,
one gun. And Icarus, very nice angle holding there, and that's two man down, which means CCG have three guns, three weapons instead of one right now.
no, they haven't been able to retrieve one of them. And well, two players have already fallen. That's an M4 taken away. Again, picked up by Kraken. They have absolutely no utility to keep the players off spin the block away. As soon as the C4 goes down, it the retake's gonna initiate, and there's absolutely nothing CCG can do about it except take the fights head on. MSG already fallen. The trade comes through, and Kurimakov, he gets to somehow just 1 HP, but still survived enough. Got the headshot, the turn and burn, and Breezy found the final frag. Breezy's really on a roll right now. He's found another 3K. He started off with a 4K as well. The man has 8 frags total. 7 of them came off of just 2 rounds.
He is going on a spree right now. That is definitely true. That round almost went in the favor of CCG. Had a very good run there. I mean, they got the plant off in a round like that where you shouldn't be at least getting into the side the way Spin the Block has been playing, but they got the plant. They almost had the round that unlucky again lining up and dying to the same person, and then he doesn't even die for it. 1 HP survival. It's just a very, very unlucky scenario, but the luck will not go in your favor. That's how the game works, unless you want to take it in your side. This time around, again, the mid push coming in, and Jam will find another one. Breezy, look at this. He's not going to stop fragging, and he's just going to keep on making impact. And CCG, at the very early of the round, losing two members. Might as well lose the third one here if not careful enough. Oh no.
That's a big
Kraken.
one. Breezy fallen.
He did receive a lot of damage in return, though.
Yeah, you take every pick you can get, especially when the player who you found has been so highly influential.
Oh,
MSG follows him to the grave. Icarus, nice clean headshot. Sure, sustained a bit of damage, but that's a man advantage now for CCG to work with. They've had quite a few of those. And KS all on his own, trying to hold the side, but there's a rotation coming in now. CCG on the move. Jam is looking out for it. That orb, it might be good to find a frag, but the re-engagement is going to be a little bit difficult, and instead he misses the first shot, gets punished for it by Kraken, and that's a 2K for him so far, leaving only NKS behind. It's a 1 versus 3. Does have the defuse kit on hand, but the financial situation of Spin the Block isn't exactly thrilling either. So I wouldn't be surprised if he decides to go for a savior, and that seemingly is going to be the choice that he makes. So CCG finally draw first blood with 3 players alive and the bomb planted.
a very good round for CCG. A much needed round to break the deadlock here, because if they didn't like you mentioned in the previous from the past experience, we can definitely say that if the deficit starts to get too big, then CCG does make a comeback, but they always get stuck up in the last situation. So I want them to start winning some rounds early on. Potentially, since they're on the T side, I believe they need to win at least 5 to 6 rounds going into the second half if they want to make a strong comeback into the game. And for the CT side, Spin the Block, they had a first 2 rounds good, but then the last 2 rounds they have won the third and fourth one. it was kind of messy. They lost a lot of members, so that's why. And the game generally how it favors this T side. You're not gonna be able to sustain that economically, and more aggressive utilities being thrown out. But Fearless Beetle, he's just completely unaware of where he is. He tried to get in, get the map control, but he won't be able to do so. MSG going down to Redman here, equalizing the score and saving CCG once again. But Kurimov, it's gonna take one more kill. Such an aggressive positioning in mid, and Redman gonna be able to get another one. But Jay Breezy, every time he makes the difference, he's there to just shut it down for CCG.
2 versus 3. This is still not entirely out of their hands, but Kraken, he's gonna have to find some value. There's one. The spray transfer not as accurate as he probably would have liked onto NKS. It's a clean kill for him. Traded out, and now it's all come down to Tree Hen in a 1 versus 2. Op in hand, a lot of utility to work with, but that weapon of choice maybe not the preferable one in such a scenario. Does have the bomb to hold on to. Peak goes out in a 1v1, not prepared to take on the second fight. NKS plays together, they play collectively. The trade immediately comes through, and the round confirmed. All picked up as well. That's the fifth on board for Spin the Block.
Spin the block played very beautifully there, knowing that Treehan is gonna be on the up and predicting that successfully. They were sticking out two men together instead of just being one on each side. And Treehan thought that he might have picked up the person who was guarding B, but little did he know that there was another one lurking around just around the corner to trade the trade kill, and that just happened. While the round didn't go in CCG's favor, they still do have AKs in hand, but they're gonna be falling like flies here. As again, very aggressively rush coming in, but they were able to get inside the site, but the cost will be all of their lives.
A very quick round. Spin the Block. It's starting to feel like they're getting into their rhythm of the game. CCG, they won a round, but the last two, I mean, they've seemingly felt completely intact for Spin the Block. Sure, their fifth win was quite close. It came down to a 1 versus 1 in the very end, but or well, a 1 versus 2. It got traded out, but still, it just feels like that the game is still pretty much in their grasp, no matter s- what the timer says about the round, what the scoreline is, and the scoreline it dictates that as well. Spin the Block. They had a good run in the regular season of season 51 ESEA. They are likely looking to continue that streak into this one as well. Jam, after a great start, Jay Breezy follows it up with another frag. NKS deliver another blow. Won't even be given a chance as Kurimako finds two in MSG alongside him to finish the job. That's the seventh on board, and CCG now really starting to enter the dangerous territory as we're now in the second half of the first half, but they're really not putting up any rounds whatsoever.
Yeah, it's getting scarier as the time goes by for CCG. They cannot afford to lose any more rounds than that. Seven already on the on the board for Spin the Block, and if they win a few more, then they will possibly feeling more confident, and CCG won't have much to give on the other side. One pistol round lost will just feel horrible for them as they begin this round with the full buy, having all the utilities available, full kits available, and everything that they need to secure this round. Fearless Beetle this time around gonna be finding one frag, but the op shot misses once, misses twice, and he's gonna pay the heavy price for that. But Jam coming in from behind, and Icarus is available there. He sees two, he's gonna take out one. Jam, Kraken, the last person alive again. CCG finding some values with those weapons, but in the end, it's just all falling down in Kraken. He's gonna try and go for the plant as he has to face off against three members, one behind, two in front. He's gonna be able to take out one, but MSG is gonna be there to just trade it out, and Kraken goes down. Another round secured for Spin the Block, and possibly the most important round for Spin the Block, as now they are heading into the winning zone and CCG are just getting way, way back to the place, to the point where it feels hard to make a comeback from.
Yeah, and this is sort of what we were talking about earlier as well. That CCG, something that we rather complained about or noticed was this pattern that they had a bad start quite often, and they sure oftentimes they did pull some rounds together, but that was towards the end of the game, and that's just way too late. The other team had generally gotten so close that they could practically see the finish line and were 1 foot in it already. But again, see, spin the block. They only need 5 more rounds to conclude this game out. They could very easily hit double digits here within the first half as well. That's going to be very difficult to come back from. But again, it's only the first game of the season. There's still a lot of development to be seen, a lot of different executions that they perhaps would have been working on in the off season. So we'll let that come. But the game here isn't over either. CCG, they're still fighting, especially in this round. Jay Breezy has been taken out to begin with. But Fearless Beetle, well, he gets shut down as well. That's a 4 versus 4 now. The B side now starting to get cleared up. The smoke gonna keep the players off cave or towards their bay. NKS finds another. The disrespect towards the smoke comes through, but MSG lines both of them up. Absolutely no hesitation to take that fight. He stuck around and he finished them all off. That's the ninth on board, and only 4 more needed for spin the block already.
CCG, they're kind of lacking the team play over here. If you notice the pattern of this particular game is every single round it's always from spin the block. You gotta give it props to them as well for doing this. One of the persons is always getting a double or triple kill. It's either gonna be Jam picking up a double, MSG picking up a double, or NKS picking up a double, and Breezy multiple times double, triple, quad kills. It's gonna be there again. Same pattern. NKS picking up a double before he goes down finally. Usually they take the double, triple, and they stay alive, but this time around CCG is gonna be able to trade it out. A quick rush into the site. MSG picks up one for himself. He's gonna go down. Fearless Beetle finds the double. Jam now in a 2v1 situation. Kraken with only a Macton in hand, there's not much he can do. Jay Breezy coming towards him, and Breezy is looking scary with the Eagle. Jam is gonna go down, picks up one with only a pistol in hand. He gets the headshot, but it's not quite there enough to actually completely put him down as Jay Breezy clutches it out for spin the block and possibly puts CCG down in the coffin. Just need to nail it down and get the end to it.
10th on board, 3 more needed. CCG, this is not even the dangerous territory. This is borderline game lost territory that they find themselves in. They concede 1 more round. The game could practically be over depending on how the pistol round goes and how consistent CCG can be in the second half. While on the CT side, nonetheless, economy is going to be a big problem to hold on to if they want to make that comeback. But before that, they need to begin mounting a comeback. So far, that hasn't started, and it doesn't seem like it will start in this round either, as 3 players have once again fallen. MSG takes Icarus out, and the rest of the 2 players for CCG, they're all the way back in their spawn right now, just scrambling about for some space, some real estate that they can use to deal a little bit of damage, but it's just all going to get denied. Treehen, last one alive, spotted. Traded, not yet. 4 HP remaining on him, but this round practically speaks for itself so far. CCG, they're on the verge of conceding 11th. It really would be a miracle if your Treehen is able to bring this one back. Only a matter of time before Spin the Block shut him down, realistically speaking. But what happens after this round is what matters now. That pistol round that's coming up. CCG, they lose that, the game practically over.
Yep,
There won't be anything they can do about that.
it seems. quite impossible for Treehan to get a grasp of this one with only like 4% HP. He's actually gonna face off against Breezy, who's waiting it out for him, and Breezy gets another one to finish it off. And Breezy has been absolutely dominant with 14 frags and 5 deaths. He sits there quite comfortably as they switch the round with a huge deficit, a 10 round deficit here. And what can CCG do? Their last lifeline is gonna be this pistol round, which they must win in order to get few rounds lead. But then again, they have no room for mistake out here. CCG are in the complete like life and death situation right now. Lose one more round and you're not winning the game in the regulation at least, and lose two more rounds and you're just gone. So there's no more room for mistakes, particularly speaking. So we're gonna have to see if CCG are able to pull off this round. A quick battle coming in between NKS and Fearless Beetle. Beetle's gonna win it out and put a CCG in the lead. Fearless Beetle finds second, finds the third one as he goes down, but he already made the impact needed. Jam, the last person alive, but he does quite a bit of damage to Treehan. Treehan down with the 2 HP, only one bullet away from death, but he has to rely on Kraken here to get it done. Jam, he knows where Kraken is, but he's actually not going to be able to do much about it. CCG barely stay alive in the game with the pistol round 1. They might be able to secure some rounds to make it look good, or perhaps try to go towards that comeback, which is almost 95 to 5% prediction in my opinion, or even less.
Well, you can predict all you want, but the truth of the time is that this is yes. Realistically, comebacks can happen. They're not completely out of hand either, and CCG can mount it. Is it going to be easy? Absolutely not. Hell no. But is there the possibility? Certainly is, and they're off to a good start for it at the very least as well. Fearless Beetle finding two frags. Redman kicked things off here as well. And sure, it was an eco round for the side of Spin the Block, but a win is a win, and CCG they'll take all of those that they can get. Now, on about to secure their third, the next round should be a rifle round for the side of Spin the Block. So if CCG can win that one out, then we're talking. Then we're talking about something beginning. It's not a comeback still. We're in a very early stage to be for it to be called a comeback so far. But if they win that, we can start having a conversation about this heading towards a comeback.
Yep, definitely. And Icarus finding the last one, MSG. That's gonna give them the third round. I believe the conversation can definitely happen if we at least get 3 or 4 more rounds when the score is looking like 7-11. That's when I feel like the hopes started to get up, the expectation starts to build up, and we can be hopeful, but there's still a long way towards that. 4 rounds needs to win without losing a single one. No lifeline on the line here for CCG as they begin this next round, where now I believe Spin the Block, they will have a full buy. CCG needs to win this one out, and if they do, then they will be able to go to that conversation point that we were talking about and perhaps have that happen. And CCG going aggressively through the smoke, gonna be able to find two here, Breezy and NKS. Breezy being the very important kill as how well he has been fragging out throughout the entire game. And CCG now off to a really good start on this round. Left to 5 versus 3 situation. MSG Jam, they have gun on their hands, but only Galil on two of them and one AK onto Jam. But he has to make a really good use of this AK because in terms of long range fights, I don't think Galil's gonna do much. So it has to be that AK bringing out value. But NKS from behind, and they're gonna get surrounded. Redman, he's gonna be able to find double here. And MSG, the last person alive, finds out Redman again, and he's gonna take him out with just a deagle. Redman with a 3K, and Redman has been putting up work for CCG as they win their fourth round.
Yeah, the substitute showing up in that round finds three frags, get the fourth on board, and now we have another eco round on our hands from the side of Spin the Block there. They're going to partially invest into this. They're going to be purchasing up some pistol upgrades, some utility, a little bit of armor from the looks of it as well. That should help them deal a little bit of damage, but winning a round just with that, it's certainly going to be difficult. 1-on-1 trade to kick things off here. If you're spin the block, you would be pretty happy with that alone. Actually, another one to follow up. Kraken gets a frag, gets immediately traded out as well. That's a Galil picked up now. Something for spin the block to work with, but Jam goes down. 2 versus 3. Bomb has been dropped right on the side, and there's a push coming in from middle NKS. His location might just be real, but he gets the frag anyway. MSG has pushed through the smoke, and they somehow are surviving altogether. Both of them have been tagged up. So this could still very much be easy for Treehan, and it is. He's made it even more easier. One more kill that he needs to find is on NKS, who's just 19 HP. That's all he has to work with. One bullet and he should be done, but Treehan, can he anticipate this? Long wrap. Oh, the timing might be a little bit off. The timing might be a little bit off, and it is. NKS finds the frag. And an eco round victory for Spin the Block to achieve match point. That's just. Oh, you hate to see that of your CCG.
That was a very, very, I mean, lucky round, I would say, for the side. Unlucky round for CCG, but a lucky round for Spin the Block. They put on a great show on that round. That round was supposed to go in CCG's favor, an eco round that they should have won, but it ended up turning against their favor very quickly. As now we go head on to possibly the match point and possibly the last round. Maybe yes, maybe not. They do have buy on CCG, and they were able to get the first blood. MSG falling out here. Kraken finds another one onto Breezy. He does inflict some damage onto NKS, but will not be able to take him out completely. Karas finds one for himself. It's a 4 versus 2 situation right now on them. And Fearless Beetle finds another one. NKS gets taken out. Fearless Beetle gets the second as well. And CCG, they just hang around by a thread, by a string, and they're just one nail away from getting buried here in the first game. And I mean, spin the block, they're not far off of it either. This round, they can go for potentially half buys or maybe not, and they can end it out if they want to. But it looks like it's gonna be an eco round, so CCG still might have some rounds, a few more rounds to play with.
Well, the last round they conceded was an eco one, so it could still go either way. Fearless Beetle, he was set up for success. He was set up for so much more. And how does this even come to be? How has this come down to 2 versus 2 within the blink of an eye? That singular flash that disabled those players, and NKS gets just 2 headshots in this round, and so quickly in towards the favor of Spin the Block that it's almost questionable how that happened. That single flash that disabled Fearless Beetle, who practically could have found a 3K quite easily. I'm pretty sure it flashed out to at least one more player that went down in that 3-on-3 trade early on. And NKS, as soon as he got his hands onto those AKs, he went out proactively, perhaps trying to catch the players of CCG off guard, who probably did not want to allow the players of Spin the Block to be able to set up properly with the weapons and with some grenades that they may have picked up. But it was the opposite of that. The AKs picked up and the fight was brought right to them, and they just weren't prepared. A 13-5 victory, the last 2 rounds being eco round wins. For Spin the Block, that just hurts all the much more.
Yeah, CCG Esports not off to a great start in this ESEA Advanced League season 52 NA. I mean, they're not starting out strong, but maybe we're gonna see some development through the way. As we know CCG throughout their previous seasons as well. They've even though they haven't started out strong in some of them, but they have finished it strong and somewhat made progression throughout the season. So we might be able to see the similar scenario in here as well. CCG, we are still hopeful of them, and we're still hoping for the best. Redman, who came in, absolutely showed an great performance. So we're expecting some more good performance, and I believe the next game is going to be on Wednesday against the team called Might. So that's when we're going to be having our second game of the day. Not a great start, but I'm hoping on the second one we'll be able to put on a great show from CCG. Anything you got to say, Inflict, before we end the stream for today?
Not much. The performance today, not as impressive as I had expected for CCG to come back from, but there were a few tidbits that you can, I guess, say were positive. But there's still a lot more work for CCG to do, and hopefully they do put it in. Hopefully we do get to see it on broadcast as well. But until that happens, this games like these, they have been sort of the norm for this roster in the last season as well. Hopefully that comes to a shift here in season 52.
Definitely, definitely. And with that, that is it from us tonight. As from the casting, it was me, Zane, along with Inflict, and we'll see you guys again on Wednesday, 9 p.m. EST.